Hi, today I would like to say hello to all of you and thank you very much for viewing. And I've had some requests about showing the lower back as well. I think that's a good idea. I would like to show you different things to take care of yourself in keeping your structure strong and straight because it's really important. So I'm going to show you things about the low back, how to take care of things like sciatic pain. Maybe there's a disc that's out a little bit and there's a lot of pain running down your legs, or you're just really stiff in the morning when you wake up. I know that's one of the things that happens to me a lot, so I do practice this particular back thing on the low back quite often. So I wanted to show you, I am not the type of person that really likes to do things with tools or machines. I'm more of a hands-on person. This particular little tool is called a sacral wedgie. There's two different sizes. There's the men's, which is longer and thinner, and then there's the women's, which is shorter and wider. And so that has to do with the different shape of the sacrum. This particular thing will go on the sacrum, and what it does is, I'm going to explain it to you so it'll make more sense. So I'll show you with this skeleton, is when you're putting the wedge on, usually the tightness of the back is right here in the SI joint. The sacrum is supposed to move with the cranial rhythm, so it's supposed to be able to be flexible to move. But when it gets tightened in from the ilium, it's going to be less mobile. It's not going to move as well. And oftentimes if we've done something like twist and fall, it doesn't have to be very much, but there might be a torque or a side bend in this sacrum, which will put more pressure on the joint in here. Now you look at the inside of this and you see how deep that joint goes. The sacrum is inside here. There's the joint and there's the ilium. So it's very important to have a very well-positioned sacrum that will allow the rest of the body the rest of the spine, I should say, to be a little bit more erect when we're standing. And then, of course, when you get into the cranial system, then back up here, this joint connected to the sphenoid is the other point of alignment in order for the spine to stay nice and straight. Now, we did some work with the upper back, and I would suggest not to do the upper and lower back at the same time unless you're pretty familiar with it, your body's familiar with it at both points, because it's a pretty radical type of thing. So it's better to work on the separate parts of the back. The wedge is going to fit on the sacrum, and you'll be laying on it like so. And so what that does when you're on your back is it allows the sacrum to be lifted so that the SI joint can be relaxed down, and that can kind of drop and open. And then what's going to happen is it'll kind of wiggle itself slowly and very, very small movements into place. And you just lay there and allow that to happen. I'm going to show you how to kind of pull. I'll give you the keys to pulling your spine a little longer and how to do everything else on the upper back as you get into this position. And then you just rest with that for a little while. There's also some leg exercises that you can do that I'll show you as well, which will open up the muscles and help to open the muscles that are attaching into this area. Particularly the muscles that are there are the quadris lumborum and the psoas muscles, but you also have the piriformis muscles that are a little bit more conducive to tightening the back as well. And then there's the adductors play a little bit of a role too. So there's quite a few muscles that are in this whole thing. But you can get yourself to feel pretty good. I know that I've seen a lot of people that have used the wedge after they've had the cranial work done and been corrected at both ends. They maintain themselves very well. It's been kind of shocking. In fact, there's been a couple of people that have come to me, and when they drive here from Houston, it's a long way, so they've been doing this at home, and they've reduced their times that they need to come see me maybe 4 or 5 times, maybe not even that many in a couple of cases, because they have used this at home and they've helped it a lot. So it'll cut down a lot on a lot of the therapies that you have to go out to. It's just some home care. You know, you should also go to a therapist who's a good therapist who can also help, but you don't need to do it very often if you just maintain some of these practices at home. So the way that you get into this wedge is it's going to go on your back. So you're going to lay down, and when you lay down, you want to kind of roll down and hold yourself there. And then roll yourself to the side and find where your sacrum is. It's that flat bone right there. Now, there's 2 pieces to this. This lifts it up a little bit higher. When you start out, you might only want to do this because there's going to be a lot of compression in that joint, and it'll hurt if you're too high. But I can use this level. There's even a bigger one, but this was the most comfortable for me. So I'm going to show you with this part in it, but you can just do it without the lift. And so I'm going to place it here on my back, right at the sacrum, and then that little point goes to the coccyx, the very tailbone, and then you're going to lift up and then lay down on it and get it nice and centered. Make sure that it's there, and then stretch out. Well, actually, it's a good idea to probably put a bolster under your legs and then stretch out, because it helps to give a little bit of curve, or I should say not a curve, but it relaxes the hip joint muscles a little bit more so they're not so stretched, so the back can do more work back there. Now what I want you to do next is to get your shoulders in line and your head, and then just let your back sink. Now if your head feels like it's going like this, you can either put something under your neck if you're very high up. You know, if your head is really going back like that, you may want to put a cushion of some kind there so that you have that same up and back feeling. Or you can use something smaller like just a towel under the head, or you can use a book, and then you can just get that under the head too to lengthen that neck, because you want that up and back feeling. So I'm going to be doing it on the floor and have that up and back feeling where your chin is like parallel to the wall. Now you're going to let your shoulders come back and just drop back like you do when you have that single towel. Now what's happening here to me is I'm arching a little bit, so I want to rotate those hips. Even though I'm on the wedge, just rotate them down as far as they'll go. Being on the wedge, you probably won't be able to get your back completely flat. And then just rest out there and let everything relax. Now, there was an exercise that we did earlier where you just want to let every muscle, just feel it all melting into the floor. You're going to find a lot of tension at first because it's a different thing, but then just let it all go. Let your shoulders go. Let your chest relax down. Let your stomach relax. Let your back relax. Let your legs relax. And just feel that wedge underneath your back. It shouldn't hurt, like be really painful. It should be sort of comfortable, actually. And then you can just lay there for a few minutes. Now, if you take your attention to the sacrum and give it some real thought down there and focus, you might be able to feel it shifting a little bit. It might be shifting one way or the other, and you're going to feel that's what it's aligning itself, and it's loosening itself up in that SI joint area. Keeping the head flat, sometimes you'll feel like it's, now you want to keep that head long. It's going to feel like it wants to shrink under you a little bit, but you want to keep that subtle pull up and back so the neck stays lengthened, and then just let yourself sink into this. After you lay here for a while and you're feeling pretty comfortable and you feel like your body, the rest of your body has gotten pretty relaxed, you know, where you're not holding tension, where you feel kind of rubbery, then you can remove the bolster, and then you can do this exercise I'm going to show you. I use a yoga belt And if you want to, you can use a scarf or a belt, but it's pretty important that it's pretty long and that you can hold it well. And what you're going to do here is you're going to straighten the leg that you have the belt on. Now, you're not going to lift the leg by using the leg muscle, so you want to relax the leg muscle. Okay, just relax the leg muscle and then get the shoulders back in position and then relax them down. Now, everything is going to be done very slowly because that's how the brain can catch up and give you a different option for movement, option for positioning. It's going to develop a new pathway. So it's important to go slow. So the first thing you're going to do is with your arms, so you actually get a pretty good arm workout in this as well. So you're going to push, like you're stretching the leg down. That's the only thing. You're going to feel the leg pulling out toward the foot, and then your head up and back. And then you want to lift the leg with the arms until the tension gets pretty tight. Keep the knee tight, and take it up as high as you can until it's tight, and then just stop and hold it there for a few minutes. Relax that tension in the hamstring, and then pull it up a little bit more, and then let it go down. Now I'm relatively stiff. When I was younger, I was a lot more flexible. And it doesn't matter how far you go, it matters that you stay in alignment, and it matters that you do the work properly to wherever you are and you feel the results. It's not about getting as far as you can go. It's about staying in alignment and going slow at it so that you're actually changing a lot of things. A lot of things will change. You do this about 3 times. Here's 2, up you go, and I'm not using my leg muscles at all, and I am on the wedge, and then I'm bringing it back down very slowly. I'll tell you, you are going to get some arm work done on this as well, and I notice that my head wants to I have to concentrate on the up and back with my head because everything wants to scrunch down. And then number 3, up we go. Okay, and hold, and then let it back down. You can hold it up at the top a little bit longer than I have been, or you can just go up and down, but the main thing is to do it slowly. Okay, then the next one that you're going to do is you're going to stretch this leg out, and you're going to bend this leg in. So you're going to want to shorten your grip here. Also, your hands are going to get a little bit of a workout holding on to this because legs are heavy. So then you bend your leg in, and you're going to bend the leg here, and you're going to bring these 2 things together, and now you're going to pull the leg in a little bit of a circle toward the opposite shoulder. It's not going to go very much, and then around. Now you got to balance a little bit here. Don't go real big, just take it slow and in a little tiny, tiny, tiny circle. Okay? And then the next thing I'm going to show you is pull your leg over. Now you want to take your arm to the side and pull it over. Just a little ways. And you want to keep that shoulder on the floor when you drop that. And then this side should open a little bit more. So you're going to change hands with the strap and drop it to the side. You're holding that strap and letting the leg just go. And then bring it back up. And then back down. And then you can stretch this out. Pull the strap out and stretch it out, and then you do the second leg in the same way. Okay, and then you want to put that on, the second leg. And I'm going to do this a little quicker, just as for a demonstration so you can see. So you start with this leg bent, with this leg down, and then you're going to pull it up slowly. You're also going to get a stretch in your calf because your foot is flexed. You go up, and then slowly back down. You do that 3 times. And so I'll do it a couple there. I'm just going to go faster, but you want to go slow. These are easy, so you'll be able to do this without coaching. Just keep that head up and back and down. And then you straighten the leg and bend the knee. Tighten it up. Bring that leg in, circle toward you, and toward you, toward that shoulder, and then toward the shoulder in the little circle. And then you want to cross it over. Drop that the arm for balance. You're going a little bit off the wedge here, but not much. And then you open it the other way. You're holding that leg. I'm telling you, it's really heavy. And then you bring it up. And then you can bring that back down. And there you go. Okay. Then to get off the wedge, you can just roll to the side very slowly and kind of bring your leg up, but just kind of roll like you're a rag doll. Pull the wedge out. And then just continue to roll to the side. Bring your legs in. Put your hands in front and slowly pull yourself up. Just using it. And then sit for a few minutes. You're going to feel a little stiff. And kind of move around with your back. Feel that up and back from the back. Let your shoulders float up there. And just kind of wiggle around. And there it is. That's a good exercise in itself because it's going to get your heart rate even going because it's really heavy to lift those legs. So that's how you can take care of sciatic pain and low back pain. And if you work it long enough and are diligent, you can even give enough space to help discs. A lot of it depends on how serious things are, but if you catch it sooner than later, you have a better chance to correct it, and the body wants to be correct. So there we go, and I have more to show you. So hang on. Thank you so much. See you at the next one. These wedges can be found at athenajezik.com if you're interested. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment and I'll get to it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the thumbs up. And I think there's a little bell up there that you can hit that you'll get a notification every time we post. So if you want to, you can hit that too. But thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.